Hey guys, thank you so much for being here. This is another Wednesday mentoring. Today I'm so happy to be doing this because we're doing an open forum, kind of like a town hall, if you will, to kind of help you guys assimilate from the last two series that we did. We spent 8 weeks doing basically intensive training to get from just buying something in business to building something, using that as a foundation to build your brand, not just any brand, but your brand, but also how to deepen that with the Head to Heart series. So we talked about building a personal brand, building a brand that aligns with the principles of God and bringing, the word of God into that and learning how to meld the two because it's not really separate. Because again, how you do anything is how you do everything, right? And then we deepen that with the Head to Heart series, learning how to not just talk about things from a knowledge perspective, but how to talk about that as in what it's doing for you, what it's solving for you. Because again, that's what people buy. Like people don't care about the modules necessarily. They care about what the modules will do for them, not just on the lessons, but on the transformation that it will bring. The aha moments, those are transformations. So we're going to talk about that and how to apply that in your content and talk about how you guys have applied what you've learned so far and how to better smooth it out, if as it were, so you guys can get to explode in your business and start applying, right? So you guys can do it. We can do it for videos and live streaming because I just did another live stream training about 2 weeks ago on my lives on TikTok. So we can talk a little bit about that today, but I wanted to be open where you guys can ask questions and get responses and see how we can hammer stuff out. And if you're working and you have to ask in the chat, you're live today, you can do that. If you want to get on mic and you want to ask your question, we can do that too. But then Denovan was talking about some interesting topics that I want to kind of dive into. So let's open up with that. So then, oh, well, you know what? Let's do this first. Let's open up in a quick word of prayer if you don't mind. Dan, would you mind praying us in?
Uh, okay, so I thank and pray to God Jesus Christ for protecting all of us and giving us the strength through all these times, good and bad, showing up as you always do, and for giving us the guidance to be able to bring and impact the lives of many, many people. We have this time upon us now when we know and feel that the big change is coming. And so we grant that you empower us to bring forth your energy, your love, your kindness, your compassion, every move that we make, so that we can attract people without hesitation to this perfect journey and divine plan that you have. Amen.
Amen. Awesome. So welcome, Kim. I just saw that you came in just now. We're doing an open forum today. We're talking about the last two series, the branding series that we did and the Head to Heart series. It's kind of an attempt to smooth things out. So we're taking questions and answers. I just want to keep it really informal today. We are still recording this, so if you guys also have questions, please make sure put it in the chat or put it in the show notes below so you guys can get your questions answered too. And I'll get to those as soon as I could possibly do so. All right then. So let's take off because you were um talking about the correlation between some of the clients that you've been getting from the UK, and why you talk about things in a different way, and their expectations behind that. So can you expound on that for us?
Sure, sure. So I'll cover the basis of what we discussed already. So yeah, so essentially, being in the UK, a couple of my customers or a number of my customers, um, came in initially from outside of the UK, but obviously as I went onto TikTok and I started to build my following there, actually the majority of people I'm reaching are in the UK, and I've had this challenge which I thought possibly maybe something that is quite a common theme where you're sort of offering an opportunity where it's from out of the States, where people in the UK will sort of question, or have some sort or express some sort of concern possibly about it being from America. Um,
Hmm.
and that, I've had the question come up, why do you always talk in dollars and things like that, which obviously I explain, and I give them the explanation behind that. This is also a global opportunity, and the US currency, for example, is the most accepted currency worldwide, for one, but because the
Hmm.
program is obviously created by someone outside
In the US,
in
yeah.
the US, that's the predominant reason. Um, but yes, in terms of what I also did with my welcome video, which has Michelle, from Legacy, but from the digital growth community, I just put a little
Hmm.
intro, which was only maybe a minute long or 30 seconds to a minute long, just to sort of for people to see me again, welcome them in, and also then introduce Michelle, which I hope
Right.
would kind of bridge that sort of that kind of that expectation, because they're suddenly if they're hearing from me and they're British and they're seeing an English person speaking, and then all of a sudden the welcome video someone in the States, it could distort the kind of
Yeah.
things a
The
little bit there. Yeah, that's
yeah,
why.
the brand congruency, yeah.
So there, yeah, so it was that, but yeah, definitely, we are seeing obviously people in the UK in the digital growth community that are having success, and so obviously it doesn't mean that what I've experienced or what I perceive to be a thing is actually a real thing or not.
Hmm.
But yeah, obviously, it'd be good to kind of sort of see if we can identify anything. And then there was the other thing that we'll touch on, obviously in more detail, about sort of going live and my issues,
Hmm.
because my two customers that came in from the UK, actually within the space of 2 weeks of each other, as I was really starting to warm up with my live experience, were
Right.
were from the UK and from going live, and then I got basically I'd had strikes, a number of strikes within the space of about 2 or 3 weeks on two accounts, and it was
Hmm.
like if I get another strike, I could get banned. That was my concern, and then the
Right.
problem actually even being on TikTok at all, potentially. I don't know whether or not that's actually not the case. Like whether I could start another account on another number if I had to or
You
whatever.
can.
Yeah,
And so let's and remind me of the other two, but let's start with the hottest one first, right? So the first thing is the powder keg on TikTok, right? So two strikes, try not to get your third across two accounts, right? Now, I want to tell you guys, I don't know if y'all can hear me still. Can y'all hear me still? Oh,
yeah,
did I lose you guys?
yeah. I can still hear you. Yeah,
Okay, good. All right, sorry. I gotta turn do not disturb on because I'm getting calls. So, all right, there we go. All right, so as far as the powder keg that you got going there on TikTok, there is a reason for that, right? And it is a reason that obviously is as old as time because as people's understanding, right? So when it comes to how you promote this is where the root of this is. Now, I want you guys to understand something. I'm talking specifically to Den's situation, but I want this to be understood by everyone watching this, that it's not just how you say it in this case, because usually I say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. But in this case, it's the absolute opposite. It's not how you say it, it's what you're saying, right? And I want you guys to understand something. In a logical world, we think I've done it, someone else has done it, other people do it, it's real, right? That's the base, right? That's how we think logically. But when you think about from a platform perspective, they don't look at what's real, right? They don't look at just what's factual. They look at perception, right? Let me explain what I mean. Let's take DGC, right? DGC's legacy builder is $900, right? If you sell the legacy builder, do you make $900? Yes, right? If you sell today is Wednesday. If you sold a legacy builder course Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, miss Friday, hit Saturday and Sunday, right? Have you been making $900 per day? Not really, right? Is it possible that it happens? You hit 6 out of 7 days, but because of that sixth day, that creates a different perception, right? And the way the platform is looking at it, they're catering to the exception and not the rule, right? They're not looking at 50,000 people have gathered and let's say 5,000 people make daily sales, right? Or get, you know, they've had 5 out of 7, 4 out of 7, 3 out of 7, 7 out of 7 days where they've made $900 or whatever amount it is, right? They're not looking at that. They're looking at somebody who is a brand new person who's never heard of it, who will hear me say, not me literally, because I don't say that, right? But hear people say from DGC that you can make $900 a day daily pay, right? They will hear someone say that and they go, oh, yeah, I want to do that. That's cool. So you're telling me if I invest $900, by tomorrow, I'm going to make $900. Is that true? No, that's not true, right? Or more to the point, it's not always true. Can it happen? Absolutely. Does it happen? Absolutely. Will it happen for that person? We don't know. And that's social media's problem, right? As a matter of fact, that's the Federal Trade Commission or whoever is responsible. For example, Denovan, whoever's responsible for best practices in advertising, whatever that organization is in the UK, that is their problem, right? Because it's not guaranteed. Like, let's put it to something very sillily simplistic. If you take a metal hammer and smash your hand, are you gonna hurt your hand? Yeah. 10 times out of 10, you're gonna hurt your hand, right? That's what they want, right? Not hurting the hand part. They want 10 out of 10 times that if you show up, you'll get that outcome. That's what they're assuming. If you can't do that, then you shouldn't say it because it creates a perception that is not the same in every circumstance, right? Now, we can get off into the weeds about different companies, like, let's take real estate. Like, if you buy a house, like people, if you buy a house from a certain realty company, that every house that they sell will not have problems, will not have issues, right? The thing is, in marketing, you got to manage risk, or manage, in this case, potential risk, right? So as a real estate agent, you'll say, okay, well, we're not telling you you're gonna get the best home experience from us. What we're gonna tell you though is we're gonna help you buy the home that you want, right? Could it have problems? Yeah. Could it be absolutely perfect? No repairs, no nothing, no issues with the deeds and the permits, no, everything's going well with the closing? Yes, right? It is possible, but that's not what we're talking about. We're just talking about getting you the home that you want, right? How that applies to digital franchising, though, and this is why I make such a staunch difference between the industry of digital marketing and the skill of digital franchising. What we have in companies like Expect to Win, which is DGC, right? What we have in that company is digital franchise, right? We use marketing to move that franchise, but we use that nonetheless as a franchise, right? That is just, let's put it this way, the Legacy Builder course or any other course in DGC or program, they're fond of programs, right? Any other program in DGC, right? We're just doing that because incidentally, that's what we're talking about, right? They're doing that simply because you want the understanding that that is the car, but marketing is the engine, right? Marketing is the engine that moves the car, right? And what I do is I teach you how to drive, right? So that is the understanding you have to communicate in your videos and in your lives, right? Don't focus on the money per day, per week, per month, because that's too debatable, right? That's way too debatable. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think also even you have to be careful about suggesting that everyone is going to be able to work just 2 hours a day and generate like especially
Yeah.
obviously so I mean I did get some guidance from an agency actually which sent me across things to consider and again focusing more on my story adding
Mhm.
value that sort of stuff rather than and also just talking about my own personal experience with it because obviously where you're
Imagine that.
yeah, I mean, and I guess you can talk about the experience of other people within the DGC. You can say, oh, we've got the Aaron who made like $1 million in just over a year or something like that. I don't know if that might also flag it, but because it's not
Yeah, it
personal
will.
experience. But
Hmm.
yeah, certainly the time saying, oh yeah, I've been able to basically do this around my busy schedule in less than 2 hours a day. Um, some people will want to spend more than that, certainly in the beginning. And if you're kind of covering
Right.
that ground, then that probably will sort of going off in the favour. I did find one of my strikes I got was when I wasn't even talking about DGC, and I was talking about my other thing as well that I was
Hmm.
talking to you about this
Yeah.
referendum thing. So
Yeah.
I don't know whether they just thought, sounds a bit ex-government or something like that, and they didn't like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, it was that was another thing. Oh, also, I think one of my strikes, you see, that happened literally within a few minutes was an accidental one on my part. I assume it was because I actually had my old board in the background that had $900 a day on it. So I didn't
Oh,
even
yeah.
realize, and the algorithm picked up on the board behind me because I just suddenly
Yeah.
went out for no reason, and I literally all I was doing was welcoming people in. It was like,
Yeah.
um,
And there's also that small chance that um somebody came in and saw that and they just woke up on the wrong side of the bed or just had some salt in their coffee this morning or whatever it is and decided, okay, that's not true, that's not real, I'm tired of seeing stuff like this, let me report it, right? There's also that chance, but I've learned to not always assume that that's the case, right? When I first started in franchising, that's what I would normally gravitate towards, somebody just hating on you, but there's always that chance that somebody does that. But again, it's the messaging, right? And it's also the thing that I love about marketing, right? One of the reasons I love marketing so much is because of a small perspective shift. just a small bit of understanding and communicate that understanding, right, can literally shift how people understand something, right? And I've literally talked about this for like a year and a half strong, right? Where I've said like when I focus when Legacy Builder and when DGC was the focus of my promotion, right? Now obviously it isn't, right? But when I decided to step in front of everything that I promoted, right? I said this and people didn't understand. And a lot of people thought like I was talking bad, I was trashing people when I said I'm stepping away from referring to products, right? I'm stepping away from referring to labels and communities and things like that. I want to focus on me, right? And when I said that, Legacy Builder was coming out, right? It wasn't yet launched, but it was the understanding that, okay, well, what are these going to be called? Right? We understand that we want new products in the digital growth community, but what should they be called? And I literally said, without even thinking, well, not thinking, not thinking about it, without stuttering, I don't care. I don't care what they're called because I'm not focused on the names of the things. Like y'all see these creators on social media that will put, and if you're doing that here, take this with a grain of salt, please. But I just have to be honest with you. Like, have you seen people online with the name of their product that they're selling in their handle? You seen that? That's, listen, that's how people from a lot of people from the digital growth community get spotted. That's a lot of people, how a lot of people from C Scales and UGC and DBA and all these, they put the name of the product in their handle on social media, but yet they're still trying to build a business, right? They're still trying to build their business, but they hinge their business by hitching the name to their brand on social media. Let me tell you why that happens. That happens simply because they assume SEO, search engine optimization. If I put Legacy Builder in my name, that people will type Legacy Builder and people will find me, right? I never did that. What is my handle on social media? Mr. Millionaire Insight, right? What does that do? That furthers my brand, my company, right? My journey, my goal, my community. Everything that I am building is connected to me, right? But people think because it's popular, when they type in the legacy builder, when they type in whatever she skills, or they type in DBA, or they type in UGC, they're going to find that. But statistically, what are the possibilities that that's going to happen? Think about it. It doesn't even have to be the top earner. And let's just take DGC because again, it's what we're talking about, right? Is what we're talking about in this second segment, right? Who's the top earner? Michelle, right? There are a lot of people catching up, right? But for right now, she's sitting at over $5 million. That instantly gives her more credibility than you. The fact that she's the creator also instantly gives her more credibility than you because the layman who doesn't know about this, they're not going for who can help them, they're going for who's the most successful, right? Listen, I've been doing franchising for 2 years. I've seen it time and time and time again, where I've literally heard out of people's mouth verbally, well, I'll just go with Michelle because Michelle is the creator of the group, because they assume that because she's the creator, because she's the founder, because she's made the most money, that that's their best chance of success. But is it though? From a mentor mentee relationship, having the mentorship that most of us know that functions a certain way, do you think Michelle can get to everybody one on one? It's statistically impossible, right? But that's the perception. Again, we're back to perception. That's the perception that the layman, the new person, that they have. That if they buy from Michelle, that they're going to get Michelle one on one on Zoom, helping them build their business. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probably going to happen? No. Again, no shade at all to her, but it's just statistically impossible. But do you see how that perception can really influence how the platform sees you? How the platform sees what you're talking about? Well, again, it's not true for everyone. So we don't know if it's something that we're readily to push out, right? So this is why I focus on the skill, right? I talk about, for those of you who've known me for a while, you know I've always talked about digital marketing and digital franchising being the most valuable skill in human history, right? Why do I say that? Because again, this is the engine that moves business, right? This is the learning this is what gets you to know how to operate and how to optimize said engine, right? Learning how this works, learning the mindset behind it, learning the technical aspect about it. I know people say all across social media, I'm not a tech person, but you got to stop confessing that. If you always confess, I'm not a tech person, I'm never a tech person, I'm not a tech person, you're never going to be a tech person ever, because you have already decided and you have already told your brain that I'm not willing to assimilate tech anymore because I am not that person. I got a question for you. Is that a process thing or is that a mindset thing? Right? This is the thing people got to realize. When you say that you're not a tech person, it also covers technical. Technical, like understanding SEO, technical, like understanding why the platform views you the way it does, right? Because it's your business. And this is the thing that my mentor talks about in the community or in communities in general, not just DGC. Take school as a platform. In all these communities, a lot of people have the conception that you take the community to TikTok or to Instagram or to YouTube or to whatever platform. No, it's you. You have you and the audience you're building, whether they're potential community members of yours or they're actual community members of yours. And we're not talking about school, we're talking about your audience, your fans, as it were, right? People that know you, people that find common ground with you, people that trust you, right? That's who you have on social media. If somebody from DBA, DGC, UGC, whatever it is, whatever school platform, whatever community, whatever Facebook group, it does not matter. If people show up from there, cool. But you got to remember, you're dealing with your potential and you're dealing with your active members in your community that you're building. whether it's one or whether it's 1,000. All right, so we got a hand up here. All right.
Sorry, yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you, like.
No
um,
problem.
so yeah, yeah. I mean, also what I was going to bring up was, um, yeah, I mean, again, talking to the fact that I'm in the UK, the Legacy Builders program is widely known in the US, but it's not. It out of the programs out there, is it's very unknown really in the UK. I mean, there's actually a lot of
Right.
the digital marketing space that are quite well established, certainly in the UK, that have never heard of it. You know,
Oh,
UBC,
okay.
obviously, SWC, DWA. Is it DWA?
Yeah, there's DWA and DBA as well.
Yeah, yeah, those are much better known, particularly SWC and UBC, of course. And there is a UK course, but Legacy Builders is hardly known at all now. I don't see that as a bad thing, but obviously that is one thing. I don't know if you'd be aware of this, but there's someone who was initially like one of has done very well with the DWA program, and she's now set up her own Path to Profits and Path to Profits Elite sort of mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
Have you
Mm-hmm.
come across? Have you heard about Path to Profits and all this? Because this is something that
It sounds familiar. It does sound familiar.
she created this only about 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
She's added to it Path to Profits Elite, and what she's doing, she's very good on her lives. Because where I come across her, I've been watching her. I mean, she I don't like her style because she attacks basically everything else out there, and at the moment she's actually she often I saw her with a live with about 400 people on it. I don't know how she
Uh-huh.
manages to get those numbers up. I mean,
I can tell you.
yeah, well, one of the things that she does is, I mean, she's not doing it quite as much as she was initially, but because she's, made like now over $1 million. I mean, she obviously regularly is dropping that in. She used to have it up on her screen when she was doing a live. So
Yeah.
obviously grabs people's attention. She's obviously stopped doing that now, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, she basically is now saying, oh yeah, courses, are um, are now done now. They were good in 2024.
Or
It's all
persona
about
non grata, basically.
mentorship, and she's obviously
Right.
her USP, or what she's claiming to be a USP, is that nobody else is offering mentorship, and they can't call themselves a mentor. She's a teacher by originally. She did teaching for 11 years.
I've seen her. I think
Zeno,
I've
yeah,
seen her.
yeah.
I think, oh man, hey, listen, that's so funny to me. That is
I know
so
because
funny to me.
she
That
is
girl's
full of it.
annoying.
She's full of it. She's annoying.
You know what I
She's
know? This is like she came, she was somewhere between Pittsburgh and Philly in some bumbuck town back there, and then now she's all that girl's annoying as could be.
yeah,
And
man.
the problem is that she's a triplet.
Yeah, yeah. She's a triplet. Yeah, there's three of
She's
them.
a triplet?
Yeah, she's a triplet. They're all 675 triplets. And one of her sisters sells that too. But not too long ago, one of her sisters went and started to sell SWC,
Uh-huh.
which this original girl claims is the complete knockoff from DWA, which is not wrong. And then
Yeah.
and then, dude, they were having back like you could they were in my feed or when my feed was all digital marketers, and
Uh-huh.
and you would see them both on the live cursing at each other in their own lives.
Are
Hundred
you
percent.
serious?
Yeah, 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 like saying, "Oh, that's the old way." And then as soon as this path to profit nonsense came out, sister switched back. Basically, what it
Like,
is all the effort, and I would say half, because mind you, people, she's out there just living her life, but all the effort
right.
that DGC actually has
Mm-hmm.
is being charged as an upcharge. But guess what? I saw Elizabeth has SWC, so I went on her
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
SWC was like, "Oh, well, that sounds like a great idea. I'm gonna charge all the members. So you buy this SWC thing where you promote 75 ways to get yourself confused, and
Uh-huh.
then
I like that.
and then once you get in it, they're like, oh, you really want to learn? $300 more. Oh, you want content idea? I don't know, $50 more, whatever her bot is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just like,
yeah.
oh my God. So yes. And
Oh
here's the
my
difference. You could
gosh.
go about, I mean, yes, this whole, and this is why KDA is important. And
Mm-hmm.
here's where the service of KDA is. There's a lot of freaking noise out there.
Mm.
It's
There is.
too much, too much. This is
And
like car wash after car wash, and everybody's in the bikini, and you're like, bro, none of these bikini girls are gonna wash your car.
exactly.
They're just gonna dirty up your car, and you're gonna go home and want to come right back. But that's it. It's like a hit or crack. Nothing's gonna happen.
Exactly.
But then what you have to learn through so two things. Number one, I am a DGC. That's the only course I've gotten, and I love it. I have gotten mentorship here with Justin, and then I work with Tim too, because that's where I purchase from. So every once in a while, when he holds something, we get on and talk. Matter
Yeah,
of fact,
you
I
do.
saw him in California, which was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway,
Nice.
um,
You
but
guys do know you have stuff here you can promote, right?
yeah, we'll talk about that some other time. That was
Yeah,
so so today. I was like,
yeah,
yo, this is too much.
exactly.
This I ain't learning no elfin chilling. So, uh, anyway, the important for me for KDA and just Jay's thing too is how to get yourself away from the noise. Jay's thing is more about mental blocks. This is more about branding and branding yourself and standing out in the middle of that storm, simply because we don't know. We're looking at the car accident happening. We're like, dude, we sell insurance. We have the brakes, because inside of
Yeah,
our community, we have the mentorship in there already.
yeah,
We have the services. You want to build this? What this is, it's a new way to do business. Numero uno. And it's the only
yeah.
way to do business because that's the where the world went.
Hello.
Number two, you have to learn how to use these skills. So here's you go. Here's gift number one. You got 4 programs for you to go practice with. Go crazy. You want to make $1 million with it? Good luck. But if you don't want to do that and you want to apply this to your already operation or already business that's operating, then good luck. Go
Hmm.
do that. You want to start
Yeah,
something whole brand new. Good luck. Go with that. Like this is not
exactly.
the thing. This is not. We're not just making the grilled cheese to sell your grilled cheese. This is not McDonald's.
Exactly.
So that's where KDA helps us understand that and I still struggle with it because this is what I was struggling with last night after going through some of the trainings to get today. I was like, the thing that's holding me back is like any industry, any freaking business I got into. I walked in there and I was the authority. I didn't know anything about nothing, but I walked in there and you would think I made the telephone.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Right? You would think like I'm Carlos Slim. I created this shit. And that was me.
Yeah,
That was my attitude always. But then with this thing, which is you can't hide behind a brand, you can't hide behind technology. It's you talking to this
right.
little thing. Uh,
Yeah,
I was like, I'm not the authority. And that's the conclusion I came to last night. I'm like, I'm not the authority. And why? I think I'm spending way too much time trying to like unblock my mind, like that censorship, huh? Look at that thing. Look at that. Look at that boss. Unblock my mind, get it to too much training, and I have actually not logged into DGC and gotten into that and felt like, okay, I am in it. I'm breathing it. I'm an authority in it. Like
yeah,
I'm so like wrapped up in this 21-day boot camp and then doing this heart to heart. And I'm like, yeah, 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 yeah. But the main thing is the big thing over there, right?
exactly.
So that's it.
Exactly.
Too much noise, too many people talking smack, and people love the smack. So here's
But
our
yes,
what do we
they
do?
love that.
Do we now start selling bikini car wash? Or do
But and listen, I want to address that question. I really do, because y'all, especially even OGs like Kim in here, who's been Kim and Julio, have been a part of KDA since really like almost its inception, right? And you guys know, but what you guys may not have known is that I had a bit of a time with God called me to start KDA, right? To do just like Julio said, come away from all the noise. Like I said earlier, I wanted to step away from the products and step forward in my business. So I am the focus of my business. And all the products that I had at the time, which I think was like 22 products at the time, is how I help people, right? And I really was in my prayer closet, like, God, I don't want to compete with anybody, right? I don't want to be another bikini car wash, right? To use Julio's example, right? I wanted to be something more, right? I wanted to be a lightning rod to teach people how to become marketers, right? How to think like a marketer, how to act like a marketer, how to work like a marketer, and more important, well, a little bit less importantly, how to get paid like a marketer, right? And I want people to find purpose. See, this is when God gave me the mission statement for KDA: to be more valuable, more relatable, and more consistent in your content so people hunt you, right? That's our mission statement, right? And when God gave me that mission statement, He said, son, you will never compete with anyone, right? And I didn't understand that. It's like, but don't I have to? And He said, no, because you're not like every other course program or whatever it is. This is the Kingdom Digital Academy. This is the proving ground. This is the preparation. This is discipleship in order to go out there and be successful once you purchase one of those many things, right? Like Justin was saying this on a live. I think Julio, you were there, right? Where he was talking about the fact that his message has not changed. His message, yeah, you may have a few things here and there, but by and large, the messaging is still the same because it's always about us and us internalizing these things about belief in oneself, about belief in God's purpose, about belief in you are the head and not the tail. You are the lender and not the borrower. You are everything that God created you to be. These things about us, they take longer to internalize than hacks on TikTok, right? And that's what people thrive on. They thrive on the hacks. They thrive on the dopamine hits, right? Give me the next SEO hack. Give me the next hook to go viral. What's the next thing that'll make me go viral when they don't even understand what virality constitutes? They don't even understand the building blocks of virality, right? They really can't even grasp that the secret, the simple secret to going viral is being relatable. Being relatable happens by telling your story because you're not the only one that goes through this, right? You're not the only one that's been through that. Julio, you're not the only one that came into this business like you could walk into first day and you look like you run the place. But for the first time in history, you got to doing something and you felt like, what in the world? Okay, so and you have to admit to you've had to admit to yourself quite painfully that I can't be that guy anymore because that's really not what it is, right? And trust me, I that's my story. That's my story. Let me tell you, right? That's my story. When I came into this business, when I bought IPS and I came into the digital growth community, right? I had 18 years of online marketing behind me. 18 years. I could have easily came in with the, oh, I know what I'm talking about. You don't got to teach me nothing. I can teach you. I literally, this is going to sound very braggadocious, but I knew more than Michelle did. I could have taught her. And literally, some of the things that I have taught her are the reason why. She is diversified as much as she is. I inadvertently trained Michelle because she told me herself that she used to watch my videos while she get ready in the morning. I couldn't listen. And I don't know, some of the newer people to DGC might not know this story, but she used to say her granddaughter recognized my voice. I could have easily come into DGC and went, I am the big dog. I am the big dog because I got 18 years. I got 18 years of skin in the game. But the Holy Spirit said that's the spirit of pride, son. Comes before a fall. So what I want you to do is I want you to come in this community and I want you to see where you can help. See where you can learn. Turn down your cup and go with a heart of expectancy to learn and to become better because you're there because obviously what you have been doing isn't working as well as you thought. Was that painful for me? Little bit. Wouldn't it be? Anybody who has that story of, excuse me, I'm used to being that guy or I'm used to being that girl that would start something today and by 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, I'm cooking on all cylinders. And everybody else is just a condiment. They just trying to catch up, right? You like that? But everybody that's ever felt like that, when they come into something like this and they meet someone like me, or they meet someone like Justin, or they meet someone like Michelle in the community who, when, if you guys really notice this, when she really delves into like what needed to change, she goes right where we do. It's about us, but because the culture has changed, where people are going for the low hanging fruit, people who are moved and mesmerized by $900 a day. We're not saying that money is not made, but we're not just here to make money. We're here to build a business and change the world. We're here to build an impact. It is a compliment to me when I hear people like Julio say, man, I didn't know where the world was before I came to KDA. I didn't know which way was up before I came here. But now I have a sense of direction, right? To hear Kim say, I found a way out of the darkness because of the time that we spent coaching together. To hear Tiffany, who just came, say, I understand my message more because of what I learned here. It helped me get focused. It helped me understand that it was more than just making some more money, but it was about becoming something more. To hear Denovan, one of our newest students, say, listen, I found you because of this. And I knew, even though that it was just the first time seeing you on a live stream, that there was something different, right? This is why God said to me that I would never compete with anyone. I've come to understand why. Because this is where you learn how to do all those things. Because again, while people are selling cars, I'm teaching you how to drive. What Answer me this. What good is it to have a Formula One race car and you don't even know how to drive a Honda? What good is it? I was hoping Julio would appreciate that more as a car salesman. right? But what good is it if you have the best car on the lot or the best car in the Western Hemisphere, but you don't even have a license? That's what KDA is. We help work on the engine that moves business. We teach the most valuable skill set in human history. And we don't just teach SEO. We don't just teach how to make content. We don't just teach how to optimize a funnel or an email list. We work on preparing you as a person to do all those things to the best of your ability. We teach people how to think like business owners, how to think like kingdom driven, purpose driven business owners that can go out there and use those tools. I remember Justin, um, he did a training and he did part two in here for us at KDA. Um, called I affectionately call it the hammer training, right? And the reason I call it the hammer training is because Justin said in 2017 that it's not about it's all the things that you see out there are just tools. It's like a hammer. It's not enough to have the hammer, you have to know how to swing it to drive that nail home. And ever since he said that to me 8 years ago, it's stuck. It's stuck because this is what we do here. We don't just sell you tools. We don't just teach you how to use the tools. We empower you to be able to pick up the tool and use it to its best ability. Does that make sense? I'm making sense, right? Um, so when you talk about things like understanding why it happens that you don't feel like you can actually get to this from day one. It's because, and this is not me talking to you guys, this is me in the audience with you listening to this. The reason why we felt put off because we didn't instantly take to this, that's a person thing. And it's, believe it or not, it's the fact that we had a harder time dealing with not being that guy or not being that girl for the first time of the very few times in life, wasn't it? Let's tell the truth. We couldn't execute on the things we needed to in our business because we spend too much time thinking I'm not good at this like I was most things. Why isn't this coming natural? Right? Why isn't this coming like second nature? Why does it have to be all of this? But when we really committed to doing the work, things changed, right? So I'm hoping that makes sense. All right. Any other comments or questions on that? Anything anybody else wanted to add before we move on? Y'all have questions so far?
Yep.
Go
Quick.
ahead.
So yeah. So I mean, just on your last point there. I mean, for me, like one of the things that I have, really kind of focused my time and energy on is really just sticking to a 2 hour or less framework in terms of my income generating activity. I mean, I've spent obviously way more than that in terms of plugging into training, watching videos, and obviously a lot of my learning is actually looking at other creators in the space, other marketers in the space, and learning bits and pieces from them. But yes, in terms of like actually getting good at being able to create my videos and edit those and actually upload those, and then obviously when we're going live, I mean, okay, when I was doing my lives consistently, I was quite often spending over an hour on a live. Maybe I would go live even twice sometimes, and I would be
Mm-hmm.
spending hours doing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the reason being is because for me, one of the many reasons why I thought it was amazing this digital franchising was the fact that you can literally master a 2 hour workday, and that's what appeals to so many people, especially as it's more realistic for people who are already working, to be able to actually develop
Mm-hmm.
this side hustle out around what they're currently doing, and obviously in the
Mm-hmm.
pockets of time as well. So of course,
Mm-hmm.
this is where again I know that in my first week I managed to get my first sale, and in my third week I got another sale. But in that first few weeks, to
Mm-hmm.
get those sales, and what I did with it was warm market actually as well, which was partly why those came in. Definitely a
Mm-hmm.
massive part of it. But I was messaging backwards and forwards, and really kind of nurturing them with the information, which I've
Right.
pulled back from because I thought, well, this is supposed to be an automated system, which
Right.
would mean that I wouldn't need to do that. So, of course,
Right.
I've done that, and it was only when I started going live and consistently got sort of into the swing of that then I was able to
Mm-hmm.
nurture people more effectively because I was on the live and they were getting to hear from me consistently and show up that way. So,
Mm-hmm.
but there, yeah, we have people that we know of that have apparently been very successful without even going live. You know,
Yeah.
so I can't. I think it's Wendy. She's apparently hardly ever gone live, and she's like generated like.
Yeah.
So I know. I mean, I can see her personality. She is unapologetically her and fun and bubbly and things like that. But again, her income claims I think significantly help her. With
Yeah,
it,
the low
winning
hanging
people.
fruit. The
Yeah,
low
yeah,
hanging fruit, right?
yeah.
And oh, go ahead.
So yeah, so I was just going to say again, it's obviously another factor is that what really helps people stick with this sort of thing is the speed of which they can see some success and like not just small wins in terms of their development, but actually getting
Right.
right
Yeah,
or
getting
having
the
a number
sale.
of people asking for information going to the funnel because they say, oh well, people are asking, right? But
Right.
and so that's where again in my first week I had obviously quite a few people ask for information. I had about 80 people in the space of 2 weeks. I think going to my funnel, which I thought, wow, I never had
Awesome.
that level of interest from like any network marketing thing that I tried before. I never had
Mm-hmm.
the passion in the same way with the network marketing because I understood why network marketing was challenging for a lot of people, A, because of the stigma, but because of course you're relying on other people to deliver
Right.
to actually generate money on it. So
Mm-hmm.
I would get my own way with that. I wouldn't feel like I could
Right.
really go out there and really hype it up because I had experienced personal success to see the people I brought in not succeed, then give up.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So yeah. So it's those kind of. I think it's been able to really reassure people and also master that ability to be able to give people that confidence. So of course we can't guarantee when people are going to have their initial success, but that
Right.
actually they really can follow a blueprint where the chances of them having some early on success are substantial, and and obviously keep them mentored and coached into sort of being able to stick with it and not kind of get disheartened if they don't see immediate results, which obviously everybody wants to see when they start.
Right. And I want y'all to think about something real quick. Think about this. Somebody wants to get into this space, wants to get into digital franchising, right? And they're curious about, is this possible? Is this real? Is this doable? Is this whatever it is, right? Imagine if they can actually work on why they think the way that they do, why they want the things that they do, why do they doubt the viability of doing this, and then learn how to become attractive on social media, how to become more relatable, how to overcome their fear of judgment on social media, and then walk right into a franchise. Imagine that. That's literally what this is supposed to look like, right? KDA is the proving ground of this, right? Where people work on them and they work on training themselves and their mind to prepare them for business. Now, once they've gotten prepared and they've gotten reasonably good at mastering how to tell stories and how to master their message and communicate what they are getting, then they get a business to practice with. And once they get a business to practice with, they know how to communicate, they know how to be more relatable, they know how to be more consistent, they know how to be more passionate about what they're doing, focus on impact versus sales. And then imagine the success they could have. Imagine that. But think about it like this. Like you mentioned talking about the 2-hour workday, right? Which is fine. People either really excited about that or they're really disgusted by that because how can that be possible? Right? But something dawned on me the other day, not even the other day, it was a couple months ago. Like anybody's ever seen George Jetson? Like the Jetsons, the cartoon, the Jetsons, right? George works 3 hours a day. And for him, that's long. Like he is be complaining like a backache. Like, oh my goodness,
Wait, what?
3 hours. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
George George Jetson used to complain. Go back in the series, right? Go back in I
Okay,
forgot
my
what app
VCR
it's
out.
on. PCR. No, I think it's on one of these streaming apps. I gotta find it. If I do, I'll just randomly post something in KDA. But listen, the thing about it is, it's not just about people's understanding of can they make money, right? It's people understanding can they do this? And yes, saying the 2-hour workday, yes, it's possible. But whatever it is, it doesn't matter what you promote. Again, it doesn't matter what you promote. It matters that people understand that they can do it, right? And like you said, then like you can fit it in around the things that you're already doing. So yes, it's easier to talk about the 2-hour workday, but what is the 2 hour as a creator, as someone who promotes something that talks about less time, more money? What do those things do for you? What does it allow you to do? And as I've talked about before in this Head to Heart series, you got to understand that you got to be talking about what do all of these things do for you? What does the automation allow you to do? What does working only 2 to 3 hours a day do for you? What is the having the extra cash able to allow you to do? Those are the things that people will latch onto. And you need them to latch onto that because when they don't get their sale the first 3 days or the first week, or like, because, they're fond of saying in DGC, launch to profit in 7 days. What happens when that doesn't happen? What happens when that doesn't happen? Can we really face the reality for a second that that doesn't happen all the time? It does happen, but it doesn't happen all the time. But you need people to latch on to the fact that they're learning how to get the thing that all these gifts, all these tools that will give them the time with their families, the ability to do insert the thing here. Those are the things you want them to latch on because those are the things that mean more to them and they will stick through until they achieve the process. But you want to attach the result, as in, this is the skill you're going to learn. You're going to become proficient at thinking like a marketer, acting like a marketer, working 2 to 3 hours a day like a marketer. Because it's not just in DGC, it's not just in DBA, it's drop shippers, it's real estate agents, it's whoever else that works primarily online, and people who sell digital resources, people who sell courses or coaching programs or whatever it is, right? It does not matter in the digital product world, right? It allows you to have more time, right? More time to do the things that you want to and need to and have to do, right? Because okay, so let's address what you were saying earlier too, Dan, about you've done more than that. We all have. And that's people's gripe on social media about the 2-hour workday. There's no way it's 2 hours. Some of my days are 30 minutes. What are we saying? Some of my days are an hour and a half. What are we saying? I've had days where I literally spent 15 minutes and that same day I made $1,500. What are we saying? Right?
Average. Average.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I came out with a video and said, listen, guys, this is a goal that we aspire to. This is a goal that we aim towards. As a matter of fact, I almost guarantee that it won't just take you 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours a day, because you're just learning. I said my day, right? I have 2 to 3 hours a day. I didn't say you. I said I have 2 to 3 hour days. Why? Because one, I had a little bit more practice. Two, I had a base of 18 years to work off of. You don't. I said my days are 2 to 3 hours. I've achieved that goal. Now I'm here to help you achieve that goal. If you want help to learn how to achieve that goal, put the 100 in the comments and I'll be glad to show you. Right?
You don't
That's
have the
true.
they don't have
Huh?
the they don't have the experience to do 2 hours a day
Yeah.
job that does, or work that they do just in 2 hours a day, but they won't have it either unless they start now. You've got
Then
to
let me
start
ask
early.
let me bring this into reality for you personally. How long does it take you from walking into a client's house to clean their carpets?
A minimum of 1 hour if I'm just doing something really small, but yeah, typically anywhere between 4 and 6 hours.
So I
That's just
know,
doing the physical. Then there's obviously the driving for an hour and a half, or an hour.
right. But just the physical. You show up at the client's house and you're about to start work. 4 hours, right? On average, right?
Yeah,
Right. One, that's not 9 hours a day. Can
no,
we agree on that?
yeah, yeah,
That's not 9 hours a day,
yeah.
which is what the average is for most adults. Can we agree on that? Right?
Although that
So,
that might be one of two jobs in a day. So obviously that's
right,
her job, right?
right. That's that, but we're just taking the one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we're just taking the one. You're already ahead of the curve by working almost more than half the time that most adults work, right? Obviously, specifically in your situation, you work more than one job, right? But let's just take the one. You're already ahead of the curve by working more than half the time, 70% less time than most people work. So the other side to consider is this. How long you been in carpet cleaning?
15 years.
15 years. If me, Nicholas Francis, decided that I wanted to work with you, right? It's kind of cool. I want to work 4 hours a day, right? I want to be able to help people. I've always wanted to do what you do. I thought it was cool. Day one, if you left me to do that job, how long you think it'll take me?
10 hours.
I love it when trainings are on autopilot. I love it. Why? Because I know less than you do. I have less real life, hands on experience than you do. I am a noob to the industry. I am a noob to doing the work. And even if I was physically capable of doing that, like I work out every day and I bench like 300 pounds on a good day, and I squat like 900 and just put it back on the rack, yeah, and just toss it up. Still 10 hours. Because it's not just about the physical labor, it's about knowing what to do. But if I came and told you, if I was another person and I came and told you, well, working 4 hours a day, doing what you do is not a real thing and it's fake because Nicholas told me it took him 10 hours. What would you say?
So my friend Nick, your friend Nick doesn't know what he's talking about. Doesn't know what he's doing.
Hello? Hello? He doesn't know what he's doing. He just started. And even let's say 6 months. Let's take 9 months. 9 months in. I've been doing this with you. How long do you think it'll take me to get to that from 10 hours, between 10 hours and 4 hours? How far you would think I would be closer to 4 hours?
I think you could be pretty close, but the quality of the work just wouldn't be the same.
Ex- You hit the nail square. You may be closer to the time, but the quality of work suffers. Because why? You still don't know enough, right? And isn't that where 90% of these course jumpers are, right? The ones that quit whatever they're doing to buy the next hot thing. Isn't that where they are?
Oh yeah.
They've realized that it's been 9 months and they're getting close to where their day is the 2 hours, but the quality of content suffers because they still do not know what to do. Not physically, but in here. They don't think like marketers. They don't know how to connect with people. They just throw videos up there and just wing it and say, okay, if I hit this point, this point, this point, and this point, video's done. Tell me you don't see those all the time.
Oh yeah.
And all they do is they talk about what everybody else talks about, but you never hear about them.
Yeah, I hate the crying ones. What are those
You-
ways? Like, I'm gonna cry because I stubbed my toe. Oh shit, where's my phone? I need my
oh,
phone. Let me hold these tears back till I get my phone. I
the
don't like
French,
I like Tiffany's. Tiffany's like, listen, I'm building something. Blah blah blah. Blah. And Kim's like, yo, you're gonna lose. Nice
yeah.
cup of cold water in your face. But the other ones that have no message, they're just like, I forgot my Tums. I hate those.
By the way, watch the French, please, because we're on a recording. All right,
Yeah, I hate
please,
Tums.
please, brother,
Tums,
please.
Tums, Tums
Yeah,
hurt.
but yeah, as you expletive aside, right? When you start to learn how to deepen your content and learn how to create content that tells stories that showcase transformations, you see just how superficial, just how wafer thin a lot of these videos on the For You page are. Not so?
Oh yeah.
You
I've
you
actually, yeah, I was going to say, I actually did a little exercise with that lady who's the one who's made a lot of money, but obviously is slagging everybody else off with her own program. And I was trying to find people that were joining her program and sort of look at their content. And obviously, I did do that, and I didn't find any of the majority of them weren't really telling their story at all.
yeah,
They was pushing up after profits, thing, and saying, "Oh, it's
yeah,
mentorship and all the rest of it." Um,
yeah,
so yeah, and you see that at university, a lot of people not telling their story, but also I can see people that are newer as well, where they do come across very much like they're advertising with their whole kind of delivery, and
yeah.
and that obviously is not relatable and won't
Of
help them
course.
and stuff like that as well.
Because I've said this before, and it's not one course or program. But most of them that go after the low hanging fruit, people that are desperate and don't know and can't see to find their way out of the situation they're in, and they're looking for just something, a Hail Mary they can toss up, then you see it all the time. I was this person, right? If you working a 9 to 5, you're working a 9 to 5, you want to work less time, come work this insert time frame here to be able to make this amount of money because this is the next best thing. This insert course here is this thing, right? And you can make so much and so much because so much somebody and someone has done it too, right? And they go into the we haves, right? We have this module, that module, the other module. We have this thing, that thing, this thing. We have the AI this, we have the this, that, we have the PDF this, and they go into all the we haves, but you never hear what any of it has done for them. And I'm not saying they can't talk about the we haves, but talk about what the we have done for you, right? Give people something, because at the end of the day, people will get tired of that approach. And have you seen, I've literally had hundreds now of people that have come to me and said, Nick, can you just tell me the truth? Is this something that works? They've watched 15 videos on average of people saying the same thing. And it's like, is it actually real? Because they want to believe it. They want to believe it so bad. And I know that there are people inside your automation system, in your email list. There are people that are on your follower list on social media that they want to believe it so bad. But something's holding them back. Something's holding them back. And the thing that's holding them back is they keep seeing the same things over and over and over again. And they're not seeing the reality.
Mm.
They're not seeing it. And when somebody does come along with a story that resonates with them, because why? They shared something. That person shared something that they can identify with. And they latch onto it because for the first time, they see something different, but they see something that they can relate to. And they're like, man, I gotta latch onto that person because they're speaking my language, right? That's different. And when they hear that, they're like, okay, I can get with that. Let me purchase from this person because I can get with that. This person's kind of like me, right? That's what you want, right? And
I think,
go ahead.
sorry, yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, I think I may have mentioned to you before on one of our on the mentoring call we did before. You know, because obviously, again, there's the factor, obviously, again, where like if you talk too much about the plane as opposed to the destination, that obviously is people, you know, don't want to hear that there's that much work. You know, it's not that people won't embody that work and do that work once they're in it, but it's just actually making that decision to do it. Because like even when I look at myself, and I know like when I get my teeth stuck into something, when I know that there's something that I can work with, like I can see what this is going to do for me. I can see what it's going to do for other people, right? And I mean, I embody that, and I'll go forward with it, and I'll put that extra time in. But
Right.
it's like what I experienced myself, because when I first came across this opportunity and I knew nothing about digital franchising at the time, um, you know, it was the 1 to 2 hours a day that basically
Hmm.
like, excited me. The conviction of the guy who sold it to me, who literally was just doing 1 hour a day with his wall market, which I didn't realize was the key for him in his early success and his experience
Exactly.
in doing Zooms. That basically I thought, well, I can do this around because I run a business already. Like that was my challenge is
Hmm.
as well, and putting that energy in, finding that energy at the end of my day to be able to actually do it. Like, you know, because I know that's the challenge is being able to motivate yourself to put in the extra energy to do something,
Yeah.
especially when you're juggling more than one hat, because you're changing
Yeah.
hats. That in itself is something that you have to master and sort of really gain that
Yeah.
habit to do. So of course
Yes.
that was definitely without a shadow of a doubt, and I could see that it was going to help me get what, you know, I wanted to get from it. So I wanted to be able to have that freedom and time back and all the rest of it, and travel and all the things. So there was a number of things that ultimately sealed the deal for me, but an overriding factor was the fact, well, 1 to 2 hours a day, I can do this around my current situation. And then obviously I got into it and then realized, oh, okay, there's more work here involved. I can see there's a lot of people that
Yeah,
are still not winning
exactly.
6 months in. But I was like, I'm still really glad that I got involved,
Yeah,
and then I kind of thought as well, like to try and sort of psychologically and emotionally kind of overcome the fact that I didn't want to be kind of suggesting something that was out of reach and not really true and possible for people, right? That was because I've got
mm,
a moral compass and all the rest of it. I thought, oh,
yes,
I want to do that. Then I thought, well, how realistically, if I don't actually help people get into this, I'm not actually able to make the impact to the level of people that I could do if I help them get in. That's the truth. And so
yeah,
it's, and I think, I don't know if that's how other people obviously deal with this or handle this, kind of in their thought processes. But I had to basically say, I'm not going to lie to people outwardly, and I need to basically get the message out there, but I need to do it in a way where I can empower them and help them sort of see it and feel it and grasp it to take that choice, make that choice and decision to go forward with
right,
it. Even if
right,
but again, I have made sure that when I've had those people that have come and they're interested, that I do obviously say, right, well, there's this and this that you have to understand, like
right.
before you actually make that purchase, because I don't want people
Yeah.
complaining to me and feel like I've kind of misled them, right? So,
Hmm.
but yeah, that's kind of that is the I think that is what people juggle with, when they come.
Yeah. And this is what I do. This is what I do. And I made it a point to focus on this, that I say this is what I do, right? I am able to. And my goal is to teach you how to get here,
Right.
right? Because, like the example that we drew with your carpet cleaning, right? Your job would be, I want you to be able to do it in 4 hours a day, 4.5 hours a day on average, but I want you to have the same quality of work as I do,
Mm.
right? So it's a goal that you aspire to. This is what I'm doing, and now I want to show you exactly what I've done. So when we presented that small perspective shift of not just it's a 2 to 3 hour workday, but this is I have a 2 to 3 hour workday, and now I want to teach you, right? Think about it like this. Today is Wednesday, right? I don't usually go live on Wednesdays because we have things to do as a family. We have church and things like that we do as a family on Wednesdays, the midweek service and stuff like that. But my day would be literally 2.5 hours. This, for me, yes, it's part of what I do for work, but it's not how I earn income directly, right? Yes, there are a few of you guys that pay monthly to have access to this, and I do get paid based on this, but it's not directly. Like, I'm not getting paid for this call,
Mm.
right? This is me giving back to you, right? But 2.5 hours, one day, but I will still make an income today, right? It's because of what I've built, right? And this is me real time telling you that this is the goal. And I want you to get here, to learn what I learned, to know what I know, to be able to execute like you need to execute so you can achieve the goal that you set out to. And the more we shift our perspective and our message to that, the more it goes towards education and less about making money. Yes, the goal, one of the aims is to make money, but the goal is learn how to make money, right? You can't get to the money unless you get to the how, right? You have to do the how before you get to the money, right? But people just want to skip the how and get to the money. right? But if we tell people, and this is the blessing of promoting the skill set versus just promoting the income stream, right? Take I used to say this about DGC from the start. It's worth $10,000. Excuse me, the valuation now probably is worth over 1 million, right? If Michelle were to sell that, just the community itself, $1 million, right? A cool million, right? For example, of one course, one program, one community, $1 million, right? But think about this. The skill that you work towards, the things that you learn, the aha moments, the transformations, all that is worth exponentially more. Because look at what it's done. People who have grasped onto this, people who have realized that it's about the skill, it's about the mentorship, it's about the growth, it's about the change, it's about getting to think like a business owner, becoming that person that can run a 6 figure, 7 figure, 8 figure business, becoming that purpose driven, God led approach to this business and to being successful. Think of how many people that have done that has created tens of millions more. So 1 million versus tens of millions. Which do you think is more visually appetizing? Tens of millions, obviously, but it comes with work,
Mm.
right? It comes with work. It comes with wisdom. It comes with application, right? And most people, by and large, 70% of people don't want to apply. They want to just watch. They want to just watch and they want to feel good for 5, 10, 15 minutes, half hour at the most, and then complain about the lives that they don't have. And then rinse and repeat. I mean, let's just tell the truth. That's what most people, it's the reason why people think sitting on a Zoom like this is work. Unless you're facilitating the Zoom, it's not work. It's you preparing to work, but it's not you working. If you're in an online digital business, your work is creating and producing content. Simply put,
Mm.
if you're not creating and producing work, creating and producing content, you're doing contributory tasks that help you create and produce content. The trainings that you attend, the posts that you look after, working on Chat GPT to figure out how to word your newsletters or make your PDFs or whatever, those are tributary. Everybody that questions the 2 to 3 hour thing, you know why they think like that? Is because they still think like an employee. They still have an employee mindset. They
Mm.
still think that I can be paid for making copies when you are hired to be a call center agent to take calls. Imagine if you only got money when you were doing the thing you were hired to do, which means when you get up to go to the bathroom from your desk, money stops, right? Which means when you get up to go have lunch, money stops. Which means when you get up to go help your boss do something, help them make copies, help them make coffee, help them do whatever, money stops. Because you weren't hired to make copies. You weren't hired to go to the bathroom. You weren't hired to be at the water cooler. You weren't hired to refill your staple gun. You were hired to take calls. But because they've gotten so used to getting paid for contributory tasks to their work, they expect that in business it works the same way, right? But it doesn't, does it?
No.
Then you're a business owner, you know that,
Oh yeah.
right? It doesn't work like that. But this is the knowledge that I want you guys to take into your content, knowing that people generally approach what we do with an employee mindset. I'm so sorry that Kim had to blip out, but she says this all the time. I came into this industry thinking if I show up and I did something, I should get paid. That's the understanding that she had in the very beginning. But it does not work like that. But again, back to the original point about social media and live streams and things like that, because it is not is not the rule that the employee mindset rules, it's the exception. And platforms are averted to this, where people can say, a user can say, okay, well, there's no possible way your workday is 2 to 3 hours a day. You ever ask Jeff Bezos how many hours he works? You ever ask Mark Zuckerberg how much work he actually does? I guarantee you it's way less than most people work on average. But again, that's the exception and not the rule, right? So, anyways, guys, we're at 2:51 here in the East Coast. I don't want to keep you guys too much longer. Do you guys have any questions that you need me to answer before we jump off? Go
Just one.
ahead.
Just one. Yeah. So, do you think that there is, I mean, are there a lot of people, I mean, that you are actually really getting, a lot of sales through their automations, like automatically without speaking to people?
I would say, all right, I'll give you numbers, right? So we have 50,000, well, there are 50,000 plus in DGC. Let's just take the commute because this is what, that's what you sell, that's what Julio sells. I sell that passively, right? Which is another story. But let's take the 50,000. That's round number. Let's say 10% are making consistent sales, right? 10%. So that's 5,000. Out of 5,000 people that make consistent sales, I would probably say 5% are making sales from their automation.
All right.
5%,
Sure.
right? So, which means 500 people out of those, not even 500 people, that's not 5%. 250 people are getting sales from their automations, right? By and large, give or take, right? 250 people are making sales from their automations. Obviously, Michelle being one of them, right? But can we discuss for a brief second why that is? The most obvious reasons: more visibility, creator of the community. Everybody's talking about her. Everybody has her brand in their business, which is what every business owner wants. But it's a fact. But there are some people in this space that will take the last 20 seconds of what I said and then tell Michelle I was talking stuff about her, right? It's an indisputable fact that Michelle is in 98% of automation systems. 98%. You think people might recognize her? They put their email in, but they don't buy that day. And then they look up the digital growth community or they look up the legacy builder. Who do you think comes up first? I wonder. Who do you think comes up first, me or her? I wonder, right?
Yeah.
It's undeniable that that's what it is. But again, how do we increase visibility? Us. We are the equalizer. So yeah, she may have top spot on the search on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, but I can still make $1 million because of me, because of what she's taught me has done for me. Because of what she's done for me, I can help change your life. But that's the story that I get to tell. Let's say from what I have learned, right? People used to ask me, Nick, how come you don't talk about Michelle in your content? How do you don't you talk about Michelle in your lives? Because just saying her name, as much as I respect her, as much as I got love for Michelle, as much as I appreciate everything she's ever done for me, you would very seldom hear me mention her name because of the fact that it instant with the human brain. Michelle, who's this Michelle? Okay, let me look up Michelle. I know he's talking and he got a whole lot of great things to say, but let me look up Michelle. $5 million. She's in Italy right now.
Well, that's what happened to me. The first person that I saw doing this, I liked it. He was a cool guy. Videos of him doing pumpkin patch. Look at that. Like that. Saw that? Uh, pumpkin patch stuff and always have time to be with family. I was like, cool, cool. That looks good. So I actually DM'd him, got on the phone. He's like, I never talk on the phone. I said, great. And all he kept talking about was Michelle. And then I looked her up. She had a free webinar. The webinar thing was up. So I logged in. She sent me the invite to the webinar. I get in the webinar, and that's the webinar where Tim Cries talks about golf. Like that day. And I was like, oh,
Yeah,
that's my guy.
yeah,
So then I followed Tim and I started to chat with Tim on his lives. And about 3 weeks later, I was like, all right, let's do this. Let's figure this out. Because I needed it for my business. And and
yeah,
and what you were just saying was so crazy. But ultimately, now that I have the skills, I've always outsourced marketing and advertisement. I just, especially
right,
in the digital age, I outsourced it. But now I could
right.
go back. I see myself going back to the days when we had the brewery, where I was trying to do this myself and it would always come off bad. I could just go back there and start relating and making things again.
Yeah,
So these skills are applicable to everything. Uh, Forget about what she makes. Uh, the main reason why I'm here is because I love walking on the beach. As my videos you'll see today.
yeah.
I ain't giving that shit up. The ish up, the tee up. I ain't giving that tee up.
Yeah. Thank you. Close save.
No,
Close, close, guys. I'm so sorry. Close
I
save.
ain't giving that tee. So so it's not that I have to figure this out, but luckily I've been blessed to figure this out. And let me tell you something, so it could be on the record. What's about to happen pretty soon is gonna shake up the industry one more time. Like
Mm.
that fat man does a neighbor of mine says, another one.
I love that. Hey, listen, for me, this is what means more, right? When you guys get to see what I see this business for, then you guys get to see what I see in this skill because everything runs on digital marketing. Everything. I have straight up, bull faced, with my entire chest, challenged people. Tell me an industry that does not need digital marketing. I'll wait. And you get absolute, hear a pin echo from the North Pole silence.
Water,
Why? Go ahead.
water,
Say it again.
water.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, no,
What?
no, not really, because there's Dasani and Smart Water. I've been drinking Smart Water for a long time, and it don't work.
But even that. You want me to show you? Do I need to show you? Right? Do I need to show you? When people sell water, what do they sell you? Do they
Hydration.
sell you do they sell you the water, the transformation of getting your thirst quenched?
Every
Okay,
commercial out there ends with a relationship,
Yeah.
with a different satisfaction, which is connection. It's like M&Ms, and now they're at a concert looking at each other's eyes. You're like, what that? What? I
What does
bought
that have
many
to
of
do with
M&Ms.
that?
I've never gotten that lucky, right?
Hello?
But everything, not, they never tell you about the coloring or the sugar. No, it's what the emotion right at the end.
Yes.
And that's and
And
that's where I've had a hard time because number one, the DGC training is very, it has to apply to everyone, so it's very generic. Cool. Secondly, the second method of like strumming the pain, like if I'm Lauren Hill,
uh-huh.
ah, I just I gotta figure. I've been trying to push myself to be like the jolly holly good guy, but like, yo, it'll move on. We're partying up in here. So
But
that's been my. I can't be doing this pain thing forever, man.
yeah, I get it. I get it. But you can't not do it ever, right? Because as we said before, people love drama. People love the excitement. They love the emotion. They love the high emotion too, you know, because it's why those "I quit my job today" videos go viral. It's why that happens, right? I remember I did a video, I think it's like a year and a half ago now, where I did I did it, right? It's the I did it video. And it was born of just me taking the time to stop and smell the roses. I had gotten another income stream because of TikTok Shop. I made, like, full transparency, like maybe 15 bucks that day, but it was my first 15 bucks on TikTok Shop, right? It's my first 15 bucks on TikTok Shop. And I think the first little draft that they had was like 2 cents because I got profit from that. And it turned out to be a total of 15 bucks that day from TikTok Shop. And like I broke down. I broke down because I started to think about how long I struggled to find something like this, and how my dad was telling me when I found something like this, it would be the keys to setting off something that would literally change my life because it would be how I would start to find my purpose in life. And um the fact that I found this 6 months almost to the day that he passed. I never got to show this to him, but wanting to be every inch the man that he would be proud of. And it just went down that spiral. For long, I was crying on social media again. But that video blew, when I tell you blew up, it blew up like I'd never seen.
You know what's
Because
crazy?
why?
I've seen
Was
that
that
video 4 or 5 times come through my feed. It's not even saved.
really?
Yes, sir. It's not even saved. It has come through my feed 4 or 5 times, and it's the same
Wow.
video because I know it and I like it, and I watch the whole video. Maybe it's because I watched the whole video, but
Yeah.
and that's the thing, right? Like, yeah, some of these things that I'm hitting, I switched something up. A couple of weeks ago, I was getting more comments and connections and leads. Now I'm getting views, likes, but no real uh
Like the comments and
yeah.
yeah.
Um But the videos that are put out like in November are the ones that are getting comments.
The ones that are popping off now.
Right. So it's like, yeah, one video could have 30 views today, and that's cool. Leave it there.
Yeah, exactly.
Somewhere along the line, someone's gonna see it, and there's no, I don't know how this whole thing works.
Yeah.
Good, bad, or ugly, it just goes up and stays there. And
Right.
keep, so my metrics is there's no perfect day. Like, so when you, and this is the thing, right? Like we are practitioners of like, we start a job, you end the job, and at that moment you can tell if that job was satisfactory or not, right? If I give
Yeah.
you a sandwich and you spit it out, good, that was great.
Right.
Um, Here we have no clue.
Right.
We're going talking to the ether. It's almost is just a couple notches down from praying.
Right.
You just put it out there,
And you
and
put it out there and hope you get something back.
I believe I get something back. But
Yeah.
I think our goal is not to like find that perfect hat or glasses. One, yeah, tonality, get over your fears, insecurity is cool. But secondly, just keep on working on that message. Keep on working on falling in love with it.
Yeah.
And if you're here for an ATM, like a quick, you know, just go buy a scratch off. You have better luck.
Yeah. I remember you actually did make that same video. And it's so it's so poignant and so timely because it is true. If all people think is that you're gonna turn your phone into an ATM tomorrow, then maybe this isn't for you. Right? And you got to be confident. I'm not saying you, Julio, because I know you're more than comfortable with doing that, right? You'll more than likely tell people, listen, this is the truth, and regardless of what you think, it is what it is, right? But I'm saying this for everybody watching this, whether live or watching the replay. Listen to me. I'm gonna be real with you, and I've told people that I've literally turned people away because they were not ready, right? If you really think that your phone is about to be turned into an ATM tomorrow, this is not for you. This is not for faint of heart. This is entrepreneurship. This is discipleship. This is purpose. And this will show you who you are, and more importantly, who you are not. So enter with caution because this will change your life if you let it, right? But if all it is to turn your phone into an ATM, you're gonna get burned out faster than a sparkler on 4th of July. I'm gonna just tell you that right now, right? But this is the work we do here because we know what this is worth, right? And we gotta treat it as such every single day, right? Every single day we treat it like that. That this is the value that we get to work with every day. We don't have to do this. We get to do this. Right? That small perspective shift alone is one of the major things that my business changed, right? And I get to do my own thing now. Like I don't know, I can't tell you guys how cool this is, right? I can't tell you guys just how cool this is. And it just maybe the fact that I'm wearing the shirt today, but to be a graduate of this and to be on my own call, helping change lives. This is what it was established for. This. So we can go out there and bring real change to real people. And maybe along the way, that vision may have been skewed, may have been darkened, may have been lost in the weeds somewhere. But this is what it's been about. Is for us to go out there. And because we know what we know, because this is about discipleship, that we can go out there and do the very same thing for other people. That's what I want for you guys. Yes, I would love it if people never shut up about KDA. I would love that. But at the end of the day, I want you, yes, to remember where you got value, where you got transformation, where you got, but above all of that, I want you to be able to take what you learn here and be able to go do this for someone else. That's what I want. So I get to pour into you guys every week, right? And if you follow my content on social media every day, right? So I really trust that you guys understand my heart about this. Is that I want you guys to not just make money. I want you guys to learn what it is I've learned, realize some of the things that I've realized, and learn how to think like marketers, think like business owners, think like kingdom purpose, kingdom driven people, because God requires us to go out there and fulfill the Great Commission, right? God requires us to do that. So this is how we do it. This is how we are blessed to be a blessing. All right. So, guys, we have gone over a little bit, but I trust that this was valuable to you guys. Um, what are you guys thinking about doing another one? Another kind of open forum kind of thing. Do you guys think this was valuable for you guys?
Yeah,
Did
man.
you enjoy this?
Sure. You know would yeah, absolutely. You know it'd be great. I know Donovan's 9 p.m. right now or
8
some such.
10
Oh,
past.
look at that. But maybe a time where Kim and Tiff could join us, right? Like maybe we
Yeah,
could do
like
one late
not
night
in the middle of their
edition,
work.
and then
Yeah.
Donovan could have like a lot of coffee. It's gonna be late ahead. It's gonna be maybe on a weekend.
Sure, yeah.
But
I
yeah,
mean, yeah. I mean, what time is how many hours behind are
five.
you?
About 5 hours.
5, yeah.
5 hours.
We could do a little survey in the group. Figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you can do 6 p.m. Your time, and
6 p.m. my time.
that work for you?
That's like smack. If we do it during the week, that's like smack during my dinner time.
Ah, no.
Because
Yeah,
dinner's
Well,
at like 6:30.
yeah. You let us know, boss.
you know, yeah,
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay.
I kind of try to be mindful of people's schedules and people's time zone. So, we'll figure it out though.
We do it
We'll
6 in the morning.
definitely figure it out. Did you say 6 in the morning?
I work 2 hours a day. You didn't say what hours.
But we'll definitely have to figure it out. So we can do something maybe on a Saturday. It would have to be it would have to be in the afternoon on a Saturday. But I know Kim does she does things on a Saturday. She's not able to attend calls on a Saturday. But we'll really have to try to work it out, see what we can do. All right. Well, guys, thank y'all so much for being a part of today's training. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the feedback and the interaction. I really, really, really hope that you guys got value today. Real quick, what are takeaways from you guys since this Julio and Den's been more vocal than most. What are your takeaways today?
I can't tell you how cool this is. I like that.
I
Right?
love that.
Yeah.
I love that. You want to expound on that, or just
Well,
that's where.
the fact that it is absolutely. I mean, it's like enough said, and it's like true. Like, I mean, obviously, it is that good. You can't tell people. You can't sell this really, even if you try, because it is that good. And
Yeah,
and I'm not even where you're at, right? But even where I'm
yeah,
at, and where I think a lot of people that have obviously plugged in enough to understand what this is it's the same. You can still say that. Uh,
yeah,
so but to know that obviously you're on that journey to get to where you are and go even further. Obviously is
yeah. Because I'm still moving. You know that, right? I'm still moving.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, Julio, go real quick.
Then we'll never have everything figured out. But every time we could get together, realign, readjust, it's a blessing, right? And here's Dev on the other side of the pond, and here we are, like-minded individuals. And just like that, which that's why my next week's content is how, I've met you, I was about to go to Austin. Everybody, we are all the same, no matter where our political views, location geographically, we're all the same. We're all just trying to improve and better ourselves. And through the grace of
Yeah,
God and technology, now we get to actually have that message.
collaborate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's a blessing that we're not gonna have it all figured out, but together we could strive to,
to
align.
become better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So make sure you guys share those takeaways today in your content and your stories so people know the value and the transformation and perspective that you guys have gotten today. I know for me, the best part of this and the takeaway for me today is that I get to continue to pour into people and change people's lives one step at a time, one day at a time. I get to keep impacting people's lives in a real, tangible, and intangible way to help change lives one life at a time. I'm so grateful for that. That is my takeaway from today. So I really hope that you guys continue to do that. We can do another one next week if you guys want to do another forum because we had 8 weeks to break down. So we can continue to do that, or we can go into some live stream training. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you're watching the replay so you stay abreast of what's going on, so you know how to frame your story and master your message. But guys, I love y'all, and I will see y'all next week. Continue to have an amazing, amazing week. And remember, you only live once. You might as well live it on purpose. All right. Love y'all, fellas. Take
Oh,
care.
peace.
Good.
Stay blessed.